Space, the final frontier.
Live long and prosper.
Live long and prosper.
Live long and prosper.
Today, we're at the Cinema Arts Center. Leonard Nimoy was Spock, and his son, Adam Nimoy, is a filmmaker, and he made a fantastic documentary called For Love of Spock. We're going to show this to the Cinema Arts Center audience, which is packed, and they're also getting a copy of his book, The Most Human, and it's about his relationship with his father.
The Vulcan greeting is a wonderful sentiment. Live long and prosper. And this too was something that was contributed by your father on the set.
Star Trek didn't go on the air until I was 10 years old. I'm grateful for that because I remember what it was like before we had Star Trek in our lives. Before Star Trek, he was hustling a bunch of odd jobs to generate cash to keep us afloat. And he was going out on auditions and doing bit parts. Star Trek was his first regular series. He wasn't even a regular on any show. So when Star Trek went on the air and people started watching almost immediately, it happened almost overnight. It was pretty crazy. And I was there quite a lot on several different episodes of Star Trek. What did affect us was that it was very difficult being in public with him. I had an episode with him where he was trying to have a father-son outing with me, and we were at a carnival at a local church. My dad was very courteous with the fans, and he signed a few autographs, and it was fine. They went away, and I thought it was over. But then this mob appeared. People just started gathering around him, and my dad said, "We got to go." And that was it was like, okay, we're in a whole different ball game here, and we just couldn't be really out in public anymore.
I was staying with my folks, with your grandparents,
right.
And they didn't have any idea what Star Trek was. They didn't get it. All they knew was something had happened.
You know, I was making that documentary with my dad, but then he passed away shortly after we started the process of figuring out what we were going to do. We expanded the project to include not only Spock, but also the life of Leonard Nimoy, his journey, and as a sort of a C story, we talked a little bit about my complicated relationship with my dad, the difficulties that I had with my dad until we both went into 12-step recovery. My dad stopped drinking in the 90s, and he stopped going to meetings, and he was not working the program. Those people can be even more difficult. I mean, the conflict with him did not end. There was simply no alcohol in the equation, and sometimes I would get into it with him, and it would get so crazy, I would think to myself, oh my God, somebody get this guy a drink. We're lucky because we had a really close, loving relationship the last 7 or 8 years of his life. The previous 30 or so years was this weird combination of amazing experiences, like the paparazzi and the red carpets and the premieres and the screenings and the awards ceremonies, and we did so much, and the theater work he did. I mean, had so many amazing experiences being the son of Leonard Nimoy, punctuated by these periodic episodes of regular conflict. That letter that is in the movie where he apologized to me, I never heard that again. That was in 1973, never heard it again. That was so unusual for him. Leonard was not built that way. I mean, my dad's just a tough kid from the streets of Boston. And I'm a not so tough kid from the streets of West LA. And that's why I'm so lucky that with the tools of recovery, I figured out how to deal with this tough kid because he's a take no prisoners kind of guy. I mean, there was never any real compromise or resolution to the conflict. Resentment is the biggest stumbling block to recovery in the program. I believe that's true. That's certainly true in my case. And Chris said, you need to let go of your own resentments towards him. And that's what I did. My dad enjoyed the experience immensely. He loved the amends, so much so that when it was over, he invited me over to Shabbat dinner the following Friday night, and after that, everything changed. And I'm just trying to show people, as a part of my recovery, you have to give this stuff away. That's what 12-step meetings are all about. We share our experience, strength, and hope so other people can draw on that experience and learn from it, basically. So I think I have something to offer. It doesn't matter, just the fact that Leonard is so well known, is so beloved all over the world is one thing, but really it's just a father-son relationship that found a way to move forward and reconnect with one another.